The quantum observatory hummed with energy as Rin Nakamura adjusted the sensitivity of her instruments. The midnight shift at the International Space Research Institute was usually quiet, but tonight something was different. The quantum field readings were unlike anything she'd seen in 15 years of studying deep space phenomena. "Hey Benedict, are you seeing these oscillations?" Rin called to her research partner, who was monitoring the auxiliary systems. Benedict Russell wheeled his chair across the control room, his dark eyes widening at the readings. "That's impossible. The pattern suggests crystalline structure, but at that scale." He trailed off, fingers flying across the holographic interface. The anomaly had appeared 30 minutes ago. A massive object decelerating from faster-than-light travel on the dark side of the moon. Its surface seemed to be composed of living crystal, refracting starlight in ways that defied physics. "Should we alert Director Singh?" Benedict asked, already reaching for the emergency protocols tablet. Rin hesitated. False alarms could end careers, but this was different. The object was changing course, deliberately adjusting its trajectory. "Yes, and get me a direct link to the Lunar Observatory. We need visual confirmation." Within an hour, the observatory's main control room filled with bleary-eyed scientists and military officials. The massive display screen showed real-time footage from lunar telescopes, a massive vessel that seemed to be made of translucent flowing crystal, its surface rippling like liquid glass. "It's beautiful," whispered Dr. Una Park, the Institute's xenobiologist. "Look at how it moves, like it's alive." Director Singh stepped forward, her usually composed demeanor showing cracks of awe. "Dr. Nakamura, what are we looking at exactly?" Rin projected her analysis onto the main screen. The vessel appears to be roughly 3 kilometers in length. Its outer structure is composed of some kind of crystalline material that can shift and reconfigure itself. More importantly, she highlighted a section of data. It's generating quantum fields that suggest consciousness. The ship itself might be alive. A murmur ran through the assembled crowd. Colonel James Martinez, representing the Global Defense Council, cleared his throat. "And its trajectory. It's making a controlled descent into high Earth orbit," Benedict answered, monitoring the object's path. "If it maintains current speed and direction, it will achieve geosynchronous orbit over the Pacific in approximately 4 hours." The room erupted in urgent discussions. Military officials huddled together, scientists debated theories, and communication specialists argued about first contact protocols. Director Singh raised her hands for silence. "Ladies and gentlemen, we've prepared for this moment. Implement First Contact Protocol Alpha. Dr. Nakamura, you'll head the scientific analysis team. Colonel Martinez will coordinate with Global Defense Forces. Dr. Park, prepare your xenobiology team for potential biological analysis. Everyone else knows their roles. Let's make history." As the room cleared out, Rin stayed at her station, watching the crystalline ships approach. The quantum readings were changing, becoming more complex. "Benedict, look at this pattern. It's not random." Benedict leaned in, studying the oscillating waves. "It's too ordered to be natural interference, almost like they're trying to communicate." Rin finished. She began adjusting the quantum sensors, trying to isolate the pattern. The holographic display filled with streams of data that pulsed in rhythm with the ship's crystalline surfaces. Suddenly, every screen in the control room flickered. The quantum readings spiked, and a soft, harmonic tone filled the air. The crystalline ship had begun to glow with bioluminescent light, patterns of color flowing across its surface like aurora borealis. "Recording everything," Benedict announced, his voice tight with excitement. "The energy signatures are unlike anything in our database." The harmonic tone changed frequency, and Rin felt a strange sensation in her mind, like thoughts that weren't her own, impressions of distant worlds and ancient civilizations. The quantum field was acting as a carrier wave for something far more complex than simple data. "They're not just communicating with our technology," she realized, her hands shaking as she typed notes. They're trying to communicate directly with our consciousness through quantum entanglement. Director Singh returned to find Rin and Benedict working frantically to decode the incoming signals. Dr. Nakamura. Status report. Rin looked up, her eyes bright with discovery. Director, we need to gather every quantum physicist and linguist we can find. This isn't just first contact. They're offering to teach us how to speak the language of the universe itself. As if confirming her words, the crystalline ship pulsed with new colors, casting rainbow lights across the night sky that would soon be visible to everyone on Earth's dark side. Humanity's first step into a larger universe had begun, and Rin Nakamura was at the forefront of this cosmic revolution. Captain Olivia West stood at the helm of the Stellar Envoy, humanity's most advanced spacecraft, as it approached the crystalline vessel. After 3 days of quantum signal exchanges and preparation, the alien visitors had finally invited a human delegation to dock with their ship. As the commander of Earth's first contact mission, Olivia felt the weight of history on her shoulders. Final approach vector calculated, announced Flight Lieutenant Hassan Rahman from the navigation console. The crystalline vessel's surface is reshaping itself. I think it's forming a docking port that matches our specifications. Through the reinforced viewports, Olivia watched in amazement as a section of the massive ship's crystal surface flowed like liquid mercury, creating a perfect docking ring that aligned with their ship's airlock. The entire structure pulsed with soft, blue-green light, reminiscent of bioluminescent sea creatures from Earth's deepest oceans. Dr. Kira Volkov, the mission's lead xenoanthropologist, monitored her instruments with intense focus. The quantum field harmonics are stabilizing. They're synchronizing their ship's consciousness with our presence. It's like they're preparing their entire vessel to welcome us. The docking procedure went smoothly, too smoothly, as if the alien ship was actively helping guide them in. As the airlock seals engaged with a soft hiss, Olivia addressed her small team. Remember your training. Dr. Volkov, you'll handle primary communication. Lieutenant Rahman, maintain ship security. Dr. Chen, monitor all biological and environmental readings. I'll take point. The inner airlock door opened to reveal a corridor that seemed to have grown from the ship itself. The crystalline walls pulsed with gentle light, creating patterns that moved in harmony with their footsteps. The atmosphere was breathable, carefully matched to Earth's standard composition, though it carried a faint scent of ozone and something reminiscent of ocean spray. Remarkable, Dr. Chen whispered, scanning everything with his handheld devices. The entire structure is responsive to our presence. The crystalline material appears to be a silicon-based life form, but orders of magnitude more complex than anything we theorized possible. They followed the illuminated path deeper into the ship, each step bringing new wonders. Rooms formed and reformed around them, crystals flowing like water to create spaces perfectly suited for human comfort. The quantum field communications they'd studied for days became clearer, more focused, transforming from abstract patterns into almost understandable thoughts. Captain, Dr. Volkov called out softly. They're ready to show themselves. The quantum signatures are converging. Before them, the crystalline walls began to shift and flow, forming a vast circular chamber. The center of the room filled with swirling lights that coalesced into humanoid forms, beings of pure energy and crystalline matter. They stood nearly 3 meters tall, their bodies composed of translucent crystal that pulsed with internal light. Where faces might be, they had complex geometric patterns that shifted and changed like living kaleidoscopes. The closest being stepped forward, its form rippling with colors that translated directly into thoughts in their minds. Welcome, children of Earth. We are the Luminar, and we have watched your species grow. Dr. Volkov gasped as the quantum translation matrix in her handheld device began recording complex linguistic patterns. The beings weren't just communicating through technology. They were teaching humans how to understand their natural form of consciousness-to-consciousness communication. On behalf of Earth, we thank you for this invitation, Olivia responded, her words causing ripples in the quantum field around them. The Luminar being's colors shifted to patterns suggesting pleasure or approval. Your species stands at a crucial threshold. The thought words continued. We have come to offer guidance, if you wish to receive it. The universe is vast, and no species should journey alone. Your ship, Dr. Chen interjected, unable to contain his scientific curiosity. It's alive, isn't it? A single conscious entity. The Luminar's pattern swirled in what might have been amusement. Yes, what you call our ship is a stellar symbiote, a living being that chose to partner with us eons ago. Through this partnership, we learned to traverse not just space, but the quantum foundations of reality itself. Olivia felt a subtle shift in the room's energy as more Luminar beings emerged from the crystalline walls. Each one pulsed with unique patterns, like visual signatures of their individual personalities. The air filled with their combined thought patterns, creating a symphony of consciousness that threatened to overwhelm human senses. They're offering to teach us, Dr. Volkov whispered, her translation device struggling to keep up with the complex quantum exchanges. Not just their technology, but their way of perceiving reality itself. This could change everything we understand about consciousness, about life itself. The lead Luminar being extended a crystalline appendage, touching the floor of the chamber. Where it touched, the crystal began to grow and reshape itself, forming what appeared to be a three-dimensional model of the galaxy. Thousands of points of light illuminated within it, marking what could only be other civilizations, other species connected through this vast network of quantum consciousness. Your world stands at the beginning of a great journey. The Luminar communicated. We offer you a place among the stellar community, but the choice must be yours. Will you join us in exploring the true nature of existence? Olivia looked at her team members' faces, seeing her own sense of wonder and hope reflected there. This was more than first contact. It was an invitation to transform humanity's understanding of life, consciousness, and their place in the universe. With a steady voice, she gave the response that would change human history forever. We would be honored to learn from you. Ambassador Dant Flores adjusted the neural interface circlet on his temples, a gift from the Luminar that allowed humans to better perceive and communicate through quantum fields. After 3 months of intensive training, he could now hear the crystalline being's thoughts with relative clarity, though the full depth of their consciousness still felt like an ocean compared to humanity's pond. The Global Unity Council chamber in Geneva had been modified to accommodate their alien guests. Crystalline growths lined the walls, pulsing softly with bioluminescent light that helped stabilize the quantum field communications. 5 Luminar representatives stood in specially designed alcoves, their towering forms casting prismatic patterns across the assembled human diplomats. The Medical Technology Sharing Initiative has shown promising results, Dant reported, his thoughts carrying through both verbal and quantum channels. Dr. Patel's team reports a 300% increase in our understanding of cellular regeneration. However, some nations have expressed concerns about the pace of technological advancement. The lead Luminar representative, who had chosen the name Aurora for human interaction, shifted through patterns of deep blue and gold. Change must flow at its natural pace. We understand the desire to help all your people at once, but premature advancement carries its own risks. Dante nodded, remembering the historical records the Luminar had shared of other civilizations that had rushed their development. The Education Council has a proposal they believe might help. They suggest establishing quantum harmony centers in major cities, where citizens can learn your methods of consciousness expansion gradually, under proper guidance. A wise approach, another Luminar, known as Nebula, communicated. Their form rippled with encouraging patterns of green and silver. The journey of consciousness is unique to each being. Forcing growth can lead to disharmony. The chamber's quantum field hummed with increased activity as more human representatives joined the discussion. Admiral Helena Torres, speaking for the newly formed Stellar Defense Initiative, stepped forward. Our concerns are more immediate, she stated firmly. While we appreciate the Luminar's guidance, other alien civilizations have begun approaching Earth. The Meridians have offered military technology, and the Vortex Collective seeks mining rights in our asteroid belt. We need to understand our position in this larger galactic community. Dant felt the subtle shift in the quantum field as the Luminar processed this information. Their crystalline forms synchronized, creating a harmonic resonance that filled the chamber with cascading lights. Aurora moved forward, their presence commanding attention. In the great dance of civilizations, each species must find its own rhythm. They communicated. We offer guidance, not governance. The choices you make with other stellar nations must be your own, though we will share our experiences freely. The quantum field rippled with new information. Histories of thousands of civilizations, their choices, their triumphs, and their mistakes. Dant's neural interface struggled to process the sheer volume of data, but key insights emerged clearly. You're showing us patterns, he realized, sharing his understanding through the quantum field. Each civilization faces similar challenges at this stage. Military alliances, resource negotiations, technological exchanges. They're all part of a greater developmental sequence. Yes, Aurora confirmed, their form brightening. And each choice influences not just your future, but the quantum harmony of all connected species. The Meridian's offer of military technology, for instance, carries echoes of choices that led to the collapse of the Centaurian alliance. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Through the quantum field, Dant could sense the mixture of fear, excitement, and determination emanating from his fellow humans. They stood at a crossroads that would define humanity's place among the stars. Minister Yuki Tanaka from the Science Council spoke next, her voice steady despite her visible awe. The quantum harmony centers could serve another purpose. As our people learn to perceive reality more deeply, they'll better understand the consequences of these choices. We can grow into our role in the galactic community organically. A perspective that honors both progress and wisdom, Nebula acknowledged, their crystalline form emanating approval. We offer another suggestion. Let us show you the stellar assembly. The quantum field shifted dramatically as the Luminar projected a vast image into the chamber space. A massive structure appeared, seemingly built from living crystal and pure energy, where representatives from thousands of civilizations gathered to share knowledge and maintain cosmic harmony. You're inviting us to join the assembly? Dant asked, though he could already sense the answer through the quantum field. You are ready to observe, Aurora clarified. Understanding must precede participation. We propose sending a human delegation to the next gathering. See how species at different stages of development interact. Learn from their journeys. The human representatives exchanged glances, their excitement palpable even without quantum sensing. This was an unprecedented opportunity. Chance to witness galactic civilization at its highest level. Dant stepped forward, channeling both his diplomatic training and his newly developed quantum awareness. On behalf of Earth's Global Unity Council, we would be honored to attend. Who will comprise this delegation? The Luminars' combined consciousness pulsed with approval as they shared their suggestion. Through the quantum field, Dant perceived their carefully considered selection, a blend of scientists, diplomats, artists, and philosophers. They weren't just choosing representatives, they were assembling a team that could comprehend and communicate the full spectrum of galactic civilization to humanity. The next assembly gathers in what you would call 3 months, Aurora communicated. Until then, we will help prepare your chosen delegates. The journey to the assembly will teach as much as the destination. As the session concluded, Dant remained in the chamber, watching the interplay of light and consciousness between human and Luminar participants. Earth was taking its first steps into a community vaster than humanity had ever imagined, guided by beings who measured time in millennia and built ships from living crystal. The neural interface hummed with one final message from Aurora. Remember, Ambassador Flores, the greatest diplomacy is achieved not through words or thoughts alone, but through the harmony of consciousness itself. Director Zarapatl stood in the observation dome of the newly constructed Stellar Integration Center in Singapore, watching as a young student practiced quantum field manipulation. The girl's hands moved through the air, creating ripples of light that matched the patterns flowing through the crystalline growths that now adorned many of Earth's major cities. Remarkable progress, Miss Takeda, Zora commented as the 13-year-old successfully formed a stable quantum resonance field. 6 months ago, we thought this level of consciousness control would take generations to achieve. Dr. Marcus Rivera, head of the Youth Integration Program, smiled as he made notes on his quantum-enhanced tablet. The children adapt faster than adults. Their minds are more open to new ways of perceiving reality. Miss Takeda here is one of our most promising students. The girl beamed with pride, her quantum field projecting pure joy that made the crystalline structures around them pulse with rainbow colors. This was exactly the kind of success story Zora had hoped for when she proposed the Global Integration Initiative. A soft chime indicated an incoming quantum communication. A holographic window materialized, showing Ambassador Flores at the stellar assembly. His image was overlaid with quantum patterns that conveyed deeper layers of meaning to those trained to perceive them. Director Patel, the assembly has reviewed our first-year progress report, he announced, his expression bright with excitement. They're impressed, particularly with the educational programs. The Luminar representatives say humanity's rate of quantum consciousness development is unprecedented. Zara felt a surge of pride, tempered with cautious optimism. And the concerns raised by the Meridian delegation about our military restrictions. Addressed, the Assembly agrees that our focus on consciousness development over military expansion is the wisest path. Actually, several younger civilizations have begun adopting our educational model. This was better than Zora had dared hope. When she'd first taken the role of integration director, many had criticized her emphasis on education and consciousness development over technological acquisition. Now, a year into humanity's membership in the Galactic community, the results spoke for themselves. Director, Dr. Rivera interjected, "You should see this." He gestured to a wall of holographic displays showing integration centers around the world. In dozens of cities, the crystalline structures were synchronizing, creating a global network of quantum consciousness that pulsed with shared purpose. "It's happening faster than predicted," Zora murmured, watching the patterns spread. "The global quantum field is stabilizing. Are the Luminar monitoring this?" As if in answer, the air shimmered as aurora materialized in the room, their crystalline form more elaborate than ever. "We are not just monitoring, Director Patel. We are witnessing the birth of something extraordinary." The quantum field filled with images and sensations, civilizations across the galaxy watching Earth's transformation with interest. Humanity's approach to integrating with galactic society was unique, focusing on raising collective consciousness rather than merely adopting advanced technology. "The quantum harmony network is affecting more than just our students," Zora explained, sharing data through the field. "Crime rates are dropping globally. International conflicts are being resolved through quantum-enhanced diplomacy. Even our environment is beginning to heal as people develop deeper connections with the planetary consciousness." "Yes," Aurora communicated, their form shifting through patterns of deep significance. "You have discovered what many species take millennia to learn, that technological advancement without consciousness evolution leads to disharmony." Ambassador Flores' hologram nodded in agreement. "The Assembly is particularly interested in our artist-scientist exchange program. The idea of merging quantum physics with creative expression to enhance understanding is being adopted by several other worlds." Zara moved to a different display, showing the first human-grown crystal ship taking shape in lunar orbit. Unlike the massive vessels of the Luminar, this one was smaller, suited to humanity's current level of quantum control. Its surface rippled with patterns that reflected the combined consciousness of its human and Luminar creators. "We're still learning," Zara acknowledged, watching construction progress. "There are challenges. Some people resist the changes, fear the loss of what they consider pure human culture. Others want to rush ahead faster than we're ready for." Aurora's form pulsed with understanding. "All growth faces resistance. But observe. The quantum field expanded, showing them a view of Earth from orbit. The planet was webbed with lines of light, the quantum consciousness network that now connected humanity. In certain locations, the light pulsed more brightly. The integration centers, schools, hospitals, and research facilities where humans were learning to expand their understanding of reality. Your species has begun to perceive the fundamental truth, Aurora continued. All consciousness is connected. Through this understanding, you transform not just yourselves, but add your unique harmony to the greater symphony of existence. As if demonstrating this point, young Miss Takeda had created a new quantum pattern, one that seamlessly merged human emotion with luminar geometric precision. The crystalline growths around the room responded, creating a harmonic resonance that felt both alien and deeply familiar. "That's beautiful, Miss Takeda," Zora praised, recognizing the sophistication of the pattern. "What inspired this?" The girl smiled, her quantum field radiating pure discovery. "I was thinking about music, Director, how different instruments create harmony. We're like new instruments joining a universal orchestra, aren't we? Learning to play our part while adding our own unique sound." Zora exchanged glances with Ambassador Flores' hologram and Aurora. This was why they had chosen to focus on education and consciousness development. The next generation was already thinking in ways that bridged the gap between human and cosmic understanding. "She perceives truly," Aurora communicated, their form brightening. "And this is just the beginning. As your quantum awareness grows, you will discover abilities and insights beyond current imagination. The universe holds infinite harmonies for those ready to perceive them." Standing in the integration center, watching humanity's future unfold through new eyes, Zara felt a deep sense of purpose. They were not just joining galactic civilization, they were helping to evolve it, bringing human creativity and passion to the cosmic consciousness that connected all sentient beings. The quantum field hummed with possibility as Earth continued its transformation, one awakening consciousness at a time, adding humanity's unique voice to the eternal symphony of the stars.